The dreaded creak or click. Now, for those of you who watch the GCN Tech clinic, I'm sure it's all of you, right? You will know just how much I despise those sounds. Now, personally, I've never fallen victim to one from a bottom bracket, but I do know that plenty of you have, or certainly ride with people out there who have got themselves a creaky bottom bracket. So let's look into how to solve those creaks and clicks. Firstly then, let's actually find out where that sound is coming from, because it might not be from the bottom bracket after all. It's a process of elimination, and we'll start with the easiest things first. So, let's actually stand over the bike and then wrestle your handlebars. Pretend you're Andre Greipel in a sprint or something like that. Put as much torque as you can through it and see if you've got any creaks or clicks. If there is, then it's probably going to be your headset bearings or the interface between stem and bar. Give that a grease up and see if it gets rid of it. Now, does the creak only happen when you're riding along in the saddle? Yeah? Right, we'll take out the seat post and also remove the saddle from the seat post too. Regrease it or use carbon gripper when necessary. Also, a little tip here, it could be to cover the rails of your saddle with some anti-seize or copper paste and then refit it all back together and then go out and have a ride and see if it still creaks. Still creaking? Blimey, most people have got it sorted by now. Okay, so it's time to remove your chainset and give it a good clean up on the axle of it, as well as the inside of the bearings of your bottom bracket and also the seals too. Then apply some fresh grease to the inside of those bearings, as well as on the axle of your chainset, refit it, go for a ride, creak free. Okay, it's time for the nitty-gritty then. So you're going to have to actually remove the bottom bracket from the frame. So depending on what type of bottom bracket you have, depends on the tools required to do so. So a press fit bottom bracket, you are going to need some specialist tools. And the same goes for a traditional bottom bracket where you are going to need one of those notched style spanners to actually remove that. Once they are removed, then clean up both the bottom bracket as well as the bottom bracket shell itself. Now, if you've got yourself a traditional style bottom bracket, and when I say traditional, I mean one with threads, so it simply threads into the shell of the bottom bracket, I would recommend trying one of these three methods. Firstly, you could try some copper paste, which has been great in the past when I've had to try and solve this problem for people. Then you've got anti-seize, as well as some grease. And failing that, you could even try some PTFE tape, which is what plumbers use, because that can even take up a little bit of tolerance differences and eliminate those creaks. Remember as well to torque up the bottom bracket to the manufacturer's recommended torque setting. That's very important. So if you have a press fit type bottom bracket that's creaking and it's inside of either a steel, alloy or carbon frame, then you could well try a thin layer of high quality grease inside of the shell and then refit the bottom bracket and see if that stops any creaks. Failing that, you're going to need some of this retaining compound. But how does that work? Well, first of all, you're going to have to use some of this, which is adhesive primer, which goes on the inside of the bottom bracket shell. Allow that to dry. Then apply the retaining compound, and when that dries, it actually hardens and expands very, very slightly. So it takes up the difference between the bottom bracket shell and the bottom bracket cups. See what I mean here? So it's then going to stop any very, very slight movements which could be causing that creaking. Now, if you've got a titanium frame out there, well, firstly, I would try some anti-seize first of all, because that seems to have really good results in stopping creaks. Now, many people out there, they think to themselves, oh, why not just apply this from the start? Well, as a rule of thumb, if it's not creaking, it doesn't need it. So don't go ahead and put it onto a brand new build that you're doing at home because, well, it may well not be needed. Now, another option is one of these, which is a bottom bracket for a press fit bike, but it threads together. So it's kind of going back to a little bit of old school here, but I like the idea behind it because it certainly helps out people who have a bottom bracket shell that maybe is not perfectly in line, because when it threads together, the two parts are going to be perfectly equal. I like the idea behind that. Right, I hope that solved your creaky and clicky bottom bracket. Now, if you've got a method that I've not tackled in this video, leave it for me in the comment section down there so I can add it to my notebook of remedies for these annoying problems. Believe me, I do in fact have one. Remember as well to like and share this video with your friends. Share it with someone who's got a really annoying creaking bike because, well, we don't want them to ride with us if they're that loud, do we? No, we do really, but well, just get rid of that creak. Anyway, remember as well to check out the GCN shop at shop.globalcyclingnetwork.com where we have a whole heap of goodies for you to check out. And now for another video, this time how to fit and remove a press fit bottom bracket, click just down here.